What are you doing?
I'm just working on
What?
Knight Rider.
Your dad is David Hasselhoff?
I wanted to show you a little bit of the house.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Derek and Bethany React, where we react to real estate shows, movies, anything that you guys want us to react to as far as real estate goes, and tell you if you think, or we think, it's realistic or not.
Yeah, so today we're watching a new show. It's called Listing Impossible. So this is going to be season 1, episode 1, and the name of this episode is called The Cold Box on the Beach.
Everybody loves you, Bethany. You're the best. All right, so what we've read and what we've heard through the grapevine is that this is supposed to be 100% real.
Yes, very organic. So let's see.
Organic.
Let's press play and see what happens.
We listed it at 13.9 about 3 years ago. I think it's actually worth more knowing our construction costs and how much we've spent, and the fit and finish on this house was amazing.
Okay, let me just stop there. Here's the truth. Just because you built a house for X number of dollars does not mean that your house is worth more than what you built it for. So if you've been sitting for 3 years on the market at a certain price, I'd say it's probably not because of whatever agent you're using. It's probably because of the price of the house. Mm-hmm. And she's emotionally attached.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Sure. You can tell. We had this recently happen to us, actually. We were showing a house and it was, the owners did not want to budge on the pricing because it was overpriced. Mm-hmm. But it was because they spent so much money on things that did not add value to the house, essentially. So, I mean, this house is beautiful,
But like they said at the very beginning, like, it doesn't fit the neighborhood at all. That's something to think about too. If you're gonna build a house, just because it's your dream house and it's your dream to have like this super modern home, you need to go find a place that you can put a super modern home. Because if you're gonna put it in with a Spanish feel, that's never gonna work.
She put her pool in a basement with half of it under a roof. You can't even call it a pool,
makes no
nor
sense.
is it a jacuzzi. I think we're calling it a paloozie.
If you're gonna put a pool, especially $1 million pool or basement in a property like this, then you have to have the view. And then the pool all has to, yeah, I agree. And then the pool has to be at least in the sun. Like you can stand in the like standing area, the little kids area in the sun, but the majority of it where you're actually gonna swim, which is barely any space at all.
I get maybe what she was trying to do though, was have it like the bonus room, like a chill spot maybe.
I get it, but I also understand where he's coming from because it makes sense that you would want the pool to be a walkout. Like if I'm over by the kitchen or getting food, or if I'm in the main living area, that's where the pool needs to be. Otherwise, if it's something like this, you want the best view and that's what you're going for, that pool needs to be on the roof. Just because you think this is a good idea and you put money into it doesn't mean it's an actual good idea and doesn't mean you're gonna get your money back out of it.
Yeah.
Going after the listings is really difficult because you have every agent in the city going for the same thing, but I'm determined to get to the level that Aaron is at sooner rather than later.
Walk before you crawl. So I know he was an intern, but for 5 years, if you only made $120,000 in a market like that, that's pretty low. So what it sounds like is he consistently tries to go for luxury real estate, but he really needs to fill up pipeline and get as much deals under his belt to start having a consistent commission pipeline. Because that's the only way that you make it in the business is your pipeline and having consistent money come through. And the only way you can do that is sell houses that are consistent sales, such as lower priced homes or just a even priced home instead of true luxury real estate. So he's trying to hit a home run when your base hits are probably more important.
You gotta think the base hits are gonna be able to refer you, you know, hopefully refer you to friends and family.
To fill that
Whereas
pipeline.
the home run
Might not.
May not refer you to anybody.
But that one person that you do sell a house to, so that's happened to us before, we sold a house and got 4 referrals off of it. So So that one person that you sell a house to or get a listing agreement or a buyer's rep agreement signed can turn into 4 deep, 5 deep, 10 deep. They can become what we call a whale. So they refer you 10 deals a year, right? You never know where you're gonna get it, but the biggest thing is consistency.
We definitely are interested in possibly working with you, and you being connected with Aaron, that's gonna be a big factor.
The real estate business is definitely not easy. I got into it thinking you just sell some cool at high prices and make a ton of money, and that definitely wasn't the case.
It is easier to become a real estate agent than it is to actually sell real estate. That's a good one.
Good call.
Getting into the barrier of entry to get in, yes, the test is fairly difficult. Yes, you can study for it. Yes, you can do your classes. Yes, you get through all of that. That's not the hard part. The hard part is as soon as you're done, you are a licensed agent and you are able to sell real estate. But where do you go? What do you do? How do you do it? No one tells you that at all. So you have to decide for yourself, which brokerage am I going to? Am I gonna start on a team? Am I gonna mentor? Am I gonna be what he is or was, is an intern for a very high producing agent, which I think is a smart play. Being a real estate agent is all about relationships and building those relationships. And once you build the right relationships, or if you already have them and know how to work those relationships, that's where the business comes from. The selling the real estate is a whole different beast in and of itself. So it's more about building relationship, which is what I think he was doing there, is trying to come in and build a relationship. Probably he shouldn't have said the things that he said. Needs to work on that a little, but overall, he's just trying to consistently follow up, which is also real estate.
Yeah.
Be front of mind. I have to be in front of you all the time. Why are we doing this right now? Because I want to be in front of you all the time. That's what we're here for. I want you to see my face. I want you to see my wife's face. Mainly hers, it's much better looking. And all day long, think about me, because if I'm front of mind, you're most likely going to think about using me first versus any other agent.
You know, one of the challenges of being in this community is that there's options.
Yeah.
What does this house mean to you today?
I mean, this is my life savings now, so financial freedom.
It's a lot of pressure on this house. I just wanted to
Yeah,
say, I
because
mean,
You know, you have your life savings tied up into an asset that's been very difficult to sell for 3 years.
Right.
All right, so in new construction, in this for instance, your asset that he's talking about immediately becomes a liability if you're in it for, what was that? $4 million, $3 to $4 million more than the highest price sold house in the neighborhood is. So if you build a house and it costs you $3 million more than what the highest price sold house in that same neighborhood is, you're screwed.
Yeah, I think
Unless you hire a great agent and they might be able to get you a deal, but it's still, sorry.
we've talked a lot about, like, I think not being the nicest house in the neighborhood.
Oh,
like
yes.
When you build or things of that nature, you need to leave room for
The sales price.
Lewis was talking to me about all these $20, $30 million sales.
I like this guy.
What the are you talking about? I get that Lewis needs to sell himself as an agent to the world. That's part of the game. But he doesn't need to sell himself to me. He's talking to me like I don't know. Like, I know his earnings. You did one house.
Big house.
It doesn't matter. I want to get you to 20. I want to build you. So if you own who you are, then I can help you grow bigger.
So I think what he's saying is it's uber important to understand, number one, how humble can you get with yourself? You have to know that you are not the best in the game if you haven't sold anything. So I think being humble is one of the biggest things when you get into real estate, and knowing that you know nothing. As much as you might think you know everything, you don't. And if you haven't sold anything, then you definitely don't, and you don't even have a track record. So you've got to start at the bottom and then work your way up. So what he's saying is, sell a few homes. Let's get you 20 houses under your belt. And now you have a portfolio of, hey, I've sold some houses. This isn't my first rodeo, right? I say that because I love saying the word rodeo. I don't like to say rodeo. It doesn't make sense. Derek, you're an idiot. It's okay, Bethany, you're so pretty.
Okay.
This is the last thing that keeps Renetta attached to her husband. If she's not interested in compromising on the price, it's never going to sell.
this could be sold within 30 to 45 days would be like such a weight off my shoulders.
You get to move on with your life.
Okay, then let's list it at that price then.
I'd say just in general, spending money to make money, and that's a term I've heard so many times. Like spending money, if you know that even if it's not like a guarantee, but you have like a 90% shot at making $1 million more, and all you gotta do is spend $200,000. Yeah, I would take that chance all day. I'd take it at 55%.
Yeah.
If there's a chance, I'm doing it, especially in a situation like this. But there's so many sellers that when you tell them the hard truth, which is what I like about this show, is if you tell them the hard truth, it's very hard for them to swallow that truth, because in their mind, they believe one thing, and then now they're having somebody come in that's a completely third party, completely outside of what's actually happening, what I've spent on my property, what I bought the property for, what I bought the lot for. And they're telling me X when I believe Y. Like, it's gonna punch you in the face. It's gonna feel really, really bad, but it's actually the best thing for you. So as a seller, if you're thinking about selling and somebody comes in as an agent and says, hey, you need to do this, and here's all the reasons why, and they point out all the problems, take their advice because they know what they're doing. Take their advice because it's gonna pay off for you in the end, and you can move on with your life.
Yeah. And I think it stinks for them because there was that misconception set on the front end that she could sell it for $13 million, and then they're coming in and they're like, well, really not.
The good thing that was playing well in their favor, though, is the fact that she had it on market for 1,000 days. And if that's not proof that you're way overpriced, nothing is. You'll never sell the house. You just find another agent.
The only thing I don't like is just the privacy. They're looking at you, so.
But the room gets a lot of light.
It's beautiful.
We love this look, but we do love our privacy.
Right. Yes.
So let me just say that if the privacy was an issue, or if I was at an open house and somebody told me that privacy was an issue, I would say, we completely understand and we totally agree. And this was our idea as far as what you should do in this space or could do in this space should you purchase the house. And it's the bamboo, and explain that, hey, I think a great idea here would be put bamboo. This is what the sellers went with in developer. However, I think a bamboo wall would look really pretty, don't you? And then now you have restated what you think. You've put in the mind of the person buying it that I can envision bamboo here or a bamboo wall. It's natural, it covers up, it's private, etc. And now it puts them back in the game to potentially purchase the home.
So we have a deal?
We have a deal. Let's do it.
So what I'm talking about.
Amazing. I feel like Aaron and his team came through. They brought in the staging, they brought in the buyers. It's done. I'm so relieved.
Here's a great point, okay? Great point. Let me just say this.
Getting $8 million.
Hold on.
But
Let me say this. Great point to point out here, okay? It is not always about the money, but it's about the seller's pain point. So if the seller
good point.
says, I'm good with 8 million to get rid of X, literally in this
her
situation,
ex, yeah.
then there it is. You as the agent did your job. It's not always about the money. If you can find that pain point in the listing agreement and in the listing appointment and then whatever, buyer's appointment, doesn't matter. If you can find the pain point that they're dealing with, your client, and you can hone in on it, if the money doesn't necessarily matter.
Yeah.
Clearly, because she was like, I want 13 million. Well, guess what? You got 8.8. And she goes, all right. Why? Because he consistently talked about, this will get you to move on with your life, which is what you want.
True.
That's all that matters. Because you might have wanted 13 million, doesn't mean that she had to have 13 million. And she went with 8.8.
She still lost money in the long run.
Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. Here's the point I have outside of that, okay? I think that this show is so awesome. I loved it.
I think it's good.
I think it's a great show. Here's why I like it so much. He is very blunt and to the point. And he's blunt and to the point because in the way he is that blunt, in a lot of situations, and in the South, you probably can't do a lot of that. But the fact that he's that blunt, he kind of has to be because these people are rich, right? So They have the money, they have the means. They don't have to have your services. They might need it, not know it. They don't have to have it. So he's going to be blunt and to the point to get them to what they need to understand. And sometimes you have to be like that with your sellers. Is you just have to tell them the cold hard truth, and it might be something they don't like, but at the end of the day, it's something they need. So it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And I love that about him.
Yeah.
So yeah, do I think this is a realistic show? Absolutely. Do I think it's one of the best shows we've seen? Yes. What do you think, Bethany?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think there was a lot of real estate in it.
Yes.
Not so much drama. It was just like real estate. Him really talking to his team. Him really. We saw a first-time agent.
Couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hasselhoff.
Why you should use your name.
Lewis.
If you have a famous person.
Yeah. Use it.
Use it. So yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, I think it was fantastic. We got to see the Hoff. That was awesome. Not gonna lie. I love how they just portrayed him as just the Hoff, and it was hilarious to me. I thought it was fantastic. So with all that being said, we are real estate agents here in Middle Tennessee that sell real estate. So if you want to buy, sell, invest, do anything, or if you're having problems selling your house, or if you've thought about listing but you think you're priced over high, I don't know, whatever it is, whatever your situation is, we do sell real estate. Call us, comment below, send us a message. We would love to help you buy, sell real estate.
Looking to move to Tennessee?
Boom, that's us.
Yeah.
We would love to help you
We would
relocate.
love to help you. If there are any shows or movies that you would like for us to react to, leave them in the comment section below. Bye.
See you guys.